Hey guys, Kenny here, and this past weekend I went to the annual hangout for the Patreon supporters of the YouTube channels Blimey and Say Goodnight Kevin. I've gotten to become friends with a lot of people there, and the folks that create Blimey and Kevin, who creates his channel Say Goodnight Kevin. They're all super awesome, and it's always such a great time hanging out. I've made so many cool friends. And this year I got to bring my friend Graham. But I'm always so appreciative to Josh, Jordan, Kelly, everybody that helps put on this amazing thing each year. And specifically this year I was really hoping to get a quick interview with Kevin. He's inspired me quite a bit with his channel. He reviews a lot of Christian movies, but he holds them up to the same standard as other movies, so he doesn't just give it a pass because it's a Christian movie. And so I really wanted to talk to him a litly bit about that. For all those Blimey and Say Goodnight Kevin Patreon people, him and his wife Carmen, who are super cool. They have breakfast at their house, and it's always an awesome time. And this time I got to video a little bit of Kevin's office tour that he showed, kind of his creative process in his office and where he shoots, and so I want to kind of share all that with you. So yeah, here's that interview and the tour as well. First off, one thing that I know you and Josh talk about a lot on the YouTube is like quality versus quantity, and that was a big thing I've been thinking about lately, because it seems like your ideas about it kind of evolved over the years. Like, is there a particular opinion that you have when someone's just starting out on YouTube?
So when making a YouTube channel, I think my opinions evolved in the sense that I don't practice what I preach. And I think that I struggle sometimes with feeling like I've sabotaged myself in that, but I also feel like, with me personally, I started my YouTube channel with the desire to learn, and so I'm like, when I get back to that, when I get back to my roots of why I started my YouTube channel, I'm like, I shouldn't rush this video out. I should take the time to learn and to make it as good as I possibly can. If I think of a joke, if I think of a special effect or something that I could do, right, I should, and then I'm like, have the temptation to say, let's not do that because it'll take too much time. Argue with myself and say, no, let's do it. Let's take the time and just make it as cool looking as I can,
right?
For if in a reasonable amount of time. But I still think that while quantity is good, I still try to put something out every week.
Right.
So I think that it's probably better to do more content, especially now. I think that YouTube's algorithm has changed to where you're not going to get subscriber burn, which it was a thing about 4 years ago, where if you put out too many videos and people didn't watch them, then YouTube would stop recommending your videos and stuff. I think now we're at a place where if you make more videos, if you put out stuff every day, you're going to end up in people's feeds a lot more. So,
So like maybe work really hard on some things, but then also just kind of put out some content that's like just to stay on top of the...
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt you. You can learn different things with a deadline than you do when you don't have a deadline. So I've kind of moved to, I feel like, because some of my work is a little more evergreen. It's stuff that people can come back to and watch. I'll get people who watch my movie reviews. They'll come back and watch something that I made 4 years ago. Right. So I'm like, well, if people are going to be watching this in 4 years, I want it to be as best as I can make it right now, and not rush it out. But you can learn to do a lot of things and make stuff quality in a short amount of time if you say, I'm going to have this deadline, I'm going to put something out every day, I'm going to put something out every week, and whatever's done is done at that time, and then that goes out. So then you learn to kind of pace yourself and say, all right, I'm going to work this hard on the rough editing. If it's not exactly how I want it, that's okay, because I need to get on to doing the effects or the sound design or whatever.
And it can be helpful for practicing for real jobs and stuff.
Absolutely, yes, because every job's going to have deadlines, and you're not going to love everything you do. I put together my own reel the other day, like an After Effects reel, and I felt like putting in the description, I did all these on a deadline, but people understand that that's the case. But you're just not going to be able to make, when you're working for someone else, or even for yourself, you're always working for somebody else to a degree. You're not just sitting there watching your own stuff. You're going to have deadlines, and you can't work on something forever.
Got this, and I just...
turn it on, and my lights are on, and I can film a video, and then I come over here to my desk, and normally this is a little lower, but it's a nice standing desk. And then I built this computer this year. I've moved to PC, but my Mac's over there. The thing about it is, that Mac was great. It's what I edited everything on. I just got to the point where it's a little slow, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm like, do I spend a lot of money again and buy a finished computer, or do I spend less money and get a better computer that doesn't have the OS that I like on it? And so that's what I did, and it's been a lot of fun. And look at all the colors. Can you see all the RGBs? That makes it go faster. So that's my room. Any questions?
Do you tend to bump into your desk a lot?
I mean, when I'm recording, yeah, probably.
Is that how worked up you get every time?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, another PureFlix movie? Why?
Does it feel like you have like enough space here, or would you ever want to move into a bigger space?
I don't know. I mean, if I had bigger space, I would use it. I think that like this wall is not wide enough, as you could probably see in my videos. I actually built it, I'm like, okay, this will be the background, and realized, oh, when I have, you can see like from here to over there. And so I think it's okay because it adds some like texture, and I actually think it's better that there's just the one section and it doesn't look like I'm in a sauna. So I use it, and also this lens that I use now is a little wider angle. For movie night, for the movie reviews with this white background, I use this one, which is like a 50mm, but for Panasonic, since it's mirrorless, it's a 25, so you kind of double it, and then that's what it would be with a mirrored camera. So, does that answer your question about lenses and stuff? So,
just kind of the idea of that you've shared a lot on your channel that has been meaningful for me is the idea of like thinking for yourself and stuff, and like thing that you've kind of talked about a lot.
Yeah, I think it wasn't something that I set out necessarily to do. I would say that also whenever you're whenever I make content, I think deep down I don't care what people believe, even though I do have strong convictions about certain topics and stuff.
Right.
But I also don't want people to think that, I don't want people to leave because they disagree with me. I really want to challenge myself to think about different ideas, which, however, I do have convictions about things that I believe.
Right.
But I think that that's okay, and I'll have people say, look, I think you're right on 45% of the things that you say, but I still love your channel, and I think that that's the way maybe it should be. I would rather people watch and disagree with me, because it's good for me, because it challenges me. If I just had people say, you're right in the comments, then who's being reached with that? Who's that affecting?
Right.
And also for other people, you know. So it's good to be challenged. Well, it can pick up pretty far. It's pretty sensitive in terms of proximity, and so it'll sound like I'm far away. I actually have that on there specifically as a safety. I will typically be talking into this microphone, and but I have that on there because here's what I do whenever I film. I open up OBS Studios, which is free, and I have, let's see, this may not be plugged in. So don't worry about it, I guess. But I'll have my audio going into here. So this will record the screen and my mic audio and the audio coming from the screen. And it'll record it on 2 separate tracks. But I've had times where this is messed up and I'll have said something maybe hilarious and I'm like, oh man, it's gone. So I've got this here, so that records into here. And I actually, if I'm not streaming, I'll just record everything separate. This won't even be plugged into the computer, and then I sync up the audio later. So it's got pretty good. It's a Sennheiser MKH416. Don't get this one. It's too expensive. I got it like in a deal that also I got my Rode or my Zoom recorder. But the Rode NTG is a great microphone. That's what I would recommend for something like that. And then Panasonic's. This is expensive, but it's been really helpful. You attach this kind of thing to the hot shoe, and the audio goes right in. It's got phantom power, and it's got controls over here. And it's been really helpful, especially for like this type of setup, or like what you guys can't see it, but this type of thing, because it gives me a super high quality microphone while I'm like just going around. And then what I've done for like interviews and stuff is it's got 2 inputs, so I've hooked up a handheld mic, and I have that, and it records on 2 separate tracks. And I don't know, that's been nice, a nice like kind of run and gun type setup.
Thanks guys as always for watching, and thank you to Kevin, thank you to Blimey Cow, thank you guys for doing these things, and also just the content you produce is always super cool, super inspiring. Your podcasts, anyone who hasn't checked out the InnerTube podcast, Sega Night Kevin podcast, the Blimey Cow channel, any of these Sega Night Kevin channel, be sure to check them out on YouTube and iTunes and everywhere else. Yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.